And with that, we bring in Texas Congressman Michael Burgess, joining us from Dallas. Congressman, one of the issues that President Trump and John Kelly have butted heads on is immigration, one that is near and dear to your heart. A lot of thought among the most loyal of President Trump's supporters that John Kelly brought him back to the center on immigration. In a way, for immigration hardliners, is this a win to have Kelly out?
Well, look, don't forget it was General Kelly when he was Secretary Kelly, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, who traveled to the border at a point where there was a relative lull in the illegal border crossings and said, this is great, but if Congress does not address these laws, we're going to be back into the same sort of difficulty very shortly. And turns out, I think those words were spoken in May of 2017, and General Kelly was exactly correct. The problem did immediately re-inflame during the later summer and throughout this last year. But look, make no mistake about it, the types of laws that General Kelly was speaking, some of those laws have been there for some time. Some are relatively recent. Some are the result of a court determination. But it's a very difficult job on the border, and it is made even more difficult because in some cases people just aren't sure what the law is.
Congressman, one of the issues that either John Kelly will face as he is leaving office over the next couple of weeks, or the incoming, perhaps interim chief of staff, as the president alluded to, is going to deal with, is whether or not to shut down the government come December 21st to get funding for President Trump's wall. Issue near and dear to your heart. Is it worth shutting the government down? Does the White House need to exert more political pressure on Mitch McConnell to force his hand to try to get more funding, or is it worth letting this one go?
No, it's not worth it. This is the fundamental job we were sent there to do, the defense of our nation, and that defense is, at this point, in many cases, is on the southern border. But look, the president is asking for a sum of money that the House and the Senate should provide. Now, if that dollar figure is not achieved in the appropriations bill that's passed, I think the president should veto that bill and send it back to us. But there is plenty of time over the next 2 weeks, and in fact over the 2 weeks after that, there's plenty of time for us to come together and do what's required to provide the money to fund all of the departments that have not yet been funded, and the wall as well.
Congressman, there's always plenty of time, and then it always comes down to about 11:58 on Friday night, and people are trying to get out of town for Christmas. Specifically for the White House, have they caved too many times on allowing funding bills to go through without providing border funding? Do they need to be stronger?
Well, I want them to be strong, and I want us to be strong in the funding bills that we send to the White House. It should not be necessary for the president to veto a bill. We should send him a bill that provides the funding for the defense on the southern border. It's really just as simple as that. There is no higher job that we have than the defense of our southern border.
All right. Congressman Burgess, we appreciate you being here, and thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, sir. All the best.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Congressman Burgess there.